Okay, so we've got some really nice caramelization going on. I'm gonna add those sliced Cubanelle peppers and the 4 whole garlic cloves. Can't remember if it's 3 or 4. I think it's 3. Yeah, 3, because one goes in the polenta and one goes into the pomegranate remoulade. Not really worried about trying to get too much caramelization on these peppers, just trying to get them to cook down just a touch. So how deeply you caramelize this stuff is going to change the depth of complexity of flavor to your braise. If you were to just keep them raw, you would get a fine flavor. If you were to not fully sear, and just leave this pork shank raw, you'd still be able to achieve a nice product, but what would happen is there'd be a huge layer of fat on the top of the braise. The less you caramelize it, the more fat will develop at the top, and you'll eventually have to get it off. As far as the deglazing process is concerned, because with the braise, and with this is a very much a standard braise. We're doing initial browning the meat, browning the vegetables, the mirepoix that goes into it, and now we're gonna add some liquid component to deglaze a touch. If you wanted to, you could add wine right now. I would love to add a little bit of white wine to this. I'm just gonna stick with stock to keep it pretty basic. We weren't allowed to send you guys alcohol in your parcels. But I would have liked to have added just a little bit of white wine. With a braise, sometimes the only liquid that I'll add is wine. Added a little bit of stock. I'll likely add a little bit more. But I'm going to resist the urge to add too much. That difference between a stock and a stew is that with a stock, that's that bundle of herbs, traditionally I'm sorry, not a stock and a stew. The difference between a braise and a stew, rather, is with a braise, the liquid is only supposed to go about 2/3 of the way up the item that you're trying to braise, not completely submerged. Now, I'm going to leave this uncovered in a 400-degree oven for a little while. So maybe what I will do is I'm going to go about halfway with the liquid. And then I'm going to cover this guy after it's baked in the oven, uncovered, for about 20 minutes, just to kind of get a little bit more of initial browning on the top. I'm also just going to dig around a little bit to make sure that there's nothing sticking, breaking up any caramelization that might have been on the bottom of the pan, because we are technically deglazing. So my pork shank is sideways. Not fully submerged. At this point, I'm going to take him and I'm going to put him into the oven. Let him bake in a 450-degree oven for about 20 minutes. And then I'm going to cover it and lower the temperature. And I will meet you back when I come to the point to cover it.